Hey, welcome to Sports and Politics with T. I'm your host, Tanya. Tonight we have made it back to Thursday, guys. Listen, I hope everybody's enjoyed their week so far. We have made it. We are already in the first week of January. Let's give it up, y'all. That's right. We have made it past the first week. Listen, tonight we're going to talk about a few things as far as the MAGA voters. There's a lot of MAGA voters that are now more upset than ever. Oh, yes, honey. Not everybody is on board with what he is doing as far as this war, as far as job losses and budget cuts, okay? We're going to look at some voters that actually voted for Donald Trump. And we're just going to listen in on some of their reactions. And of course, I'm going to tell you how I feel about this whole thing. But first, guys, again, I hope everybody is doing really, really good. We had a very good show last night as far as the fun and entertainment with T relationship sector, which will be returning on Saturday as well to cover more relationship and entertainment news. Okay, so check me out on my other channel and my playlist, Fun and Entertainment with T. That's again where we do all of our fun stuff, entertainment news, and relationship advice. All right. But yes, guys, so tonight, like I said, we're going to talk about and listen in on some people that voted for Donald Trump. Listen, it's almost been one full year since his inauguration, which was January 20th, okay, which is about 12 more days. So let's listen in on some of these people that voted for Trump. I'm going to let you know how I feel about this whole scenario after it's over.
I just want to say I'm sorry I voted for him and I thought he was going to help folks like me. Now they done cut off my food stamps, my Medicaid, everything. I don't know how I'm going to eat or pay for my medicine. I made a mistake.
I regret my vote. I never thought I'd say that, but I regret my vote. I voted for Trump. And now, in the first few weeks of his presidency, thousands of people are losing their jobs. I lost my job. I was the director of operations of Bear State. For the last 4 years, we've been studying whether or not bears in fact shit in the woods. And now it's gone. It's all gone. What am I supposed to tell my family? What am I supposed to tell them? If you voted for Trump, I don't even know what to say. Say, fuck you. All the money being taken, all the jobs being lost.
Attention, Patriots. President Donald Trump just dropped a powerful endorsement of Senator Phil Berger for helping Trump secure the border, cut your taxes, fight the woke mob, and make America great again. Join President Trump. Vote Phil Berger.
This is the quickest way to go from AI beginner to AI fluent in 2026.
I don't know what to do.
I was a Trump supporter. I don't know how long I can keep doing this. I have a construction company. And not a fucking thing is getting done. This is what I get. This is what I fucking get. Nothing but white boys. It takes 4 days to do a one-day job. I might have fucked up.
Okay, y'all, I never thought I'd say this, but here in Huntsville, Alabama, we are certainly regretting our vote for Trump now. Look, y'all, we just got this letter from the electric company that says because of a Trump executive order rolling back Biden-era legislation, that our electric bill is going to go up $100 a month because of what Trump did. Now, this man ran on bringing prices down for us, bringing grocery prices down, bringing energy costs down, housing, insurance, and none of that has happened at all. This is literally crazy. I mean, it's almost like the Democrats were telling the truth the whole time and the Republicans have just been lying nonstop. I know that's completely crazy to even say because Republicans have always been a beacon of truth. But yeah, this letter has me so pissed off that I'm never going to vote Republican again. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure we flip the House in April. That's what we need to do now, because Republicans have just been lying to us to get our vote. Isn't that crazy?
I have a couple comments and a prediction on this MAGA regret thing that seems to be trending. First off, we told you so for years what he's intending to do. We kept saying Project 2025. We kept saying no. We kept saying dictatorship. We kept saying no. We kept saying he doesn't care about you. He just cares about your votes. And you kept saying, he was joking. And a lot of you are realizing we were right. And then there's a lot of you who think that Donald Trump should give you an exception to what everybody else is going through because you voted for him. And you're thinking that Trump is going to make stipulations in executive orders because he's not going legislatively. This is all executive orders. That he's going to make a stipulation saying, well, if you voted for me, then this doesn't affect you. And therein lies my prediction that he'll toy with that idea and perhaps even put in that rule. But then again, he just cared about their vote. He didn't really care about them. Neither do I.
Okay, here's the deal. I have been MAGA. I have been full on MAGA. I supported the tariffs. I was all behind. I was supportive of the immigration actions, all that stuff. Okay, but I have principles. I'm just, I don't think I can't do it anymore. I can't continue with the stuff that's breaking tonight. I can't. You gotta have a line. You gotta have some kind of humanity. You gotta stand for the principles that our country was built on. Okay? So I think I'm done. I can't stand with the guy anymore. If these reports are true, and it hasn't hit mainstream media yet, but I'm sure it's going to. Because if it's true that Donald Trump likes pineapple on his pizza, I'm done. There's no way. That's un-American. It's just plain un-American. And I'm getting off the red ship if he likes pineapple on his pizza. It's just common sense.
Where is this fantasy opinion coming from where people are saying that MAGA is not happy with what Donald Trump is doing and that we regret our vote? I'm serious. You do realize that we are still the silent majority. Yes, we are louder than we were before, but we still are the silent majority. That means just because people are quiet, it does not mean they are not happy with what Donald Trump is doing. In fact, they are ecstatic and they are rooting for him behind the scenes very loudly. They are watching you closely, watching your posts, and are shaking their heads thinking, you do know that we are getting exactly what we voted for. Have a great day.
Seeing people regret voting for Trump is so annoying to me. I thought it was going to be kind of satisfying because it's like, I told you so, we all told you, but it's infuriating because we did tell you, we've been telling you, you had him for 4 years, you didn't realize that it was probably not a good decision. He told you exactly what he was going to do. Professionals said, hey, this isn't going to be good. This is going to negatively impact you. And y'all didn't listen. You still voted for him. We had so many celebrities, so many influencers out here saying, hey, vote for Trump, da-da-da-da. And now they're all backpedaling. And it's only because it's affecting you now. You didn't care that all these other minorities were being affected, but now that it's affecting you, now you care. Well, lucky for you.
And I'm going to go ahead and chime in for just a second on that. Remember, we talked about this last year. Like I said, it's until it affects them. Okay, we're right back to that same thing last January, February, and I said the exact same thing, and I'm gonna say it this year too. it's now affecting their livelihood. It's now affecting their jobs and their food and their rent and their medicine. As long as it was other minorities or just minorities in in general, they did not care. Okay, same thing with Donald Trump. He doesn't care if you're not rich, if you're not a billionaire, millionaire status, and you don't have any business dealings with him. He does not see you. Okay, that guy that was just two people prior was saying that he lost his job. He didn't realize that was going to be there. And that's the thing. Job losses are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, guys. So it's not getting better. You're always going to have a diehard Republican that's just going to stand for him no matter what, right? But that's the thing, that the denial is real, okay? And probably it hasn't affected their lifestyle as of yet, right? But until it does, they're gonna ride with him. But then when it does hit their livelihood, then you're gonna start seeing the reactions like that lady that was crying and the guy that lost his job. And now, we try to tell you guys, all right? So anyway, let's keep going.
We're all just screwed now. So, it's great.
If you feel hopeless right now, I'm here to say some Trump supporters are actually regretting their votes. Estimates as high as 1 in 4 people who voted for Trump regret their votes. And on anonymous forums like Reddit, people have poured out their feelings about how much they regret voting for him. People like farmers who have been upset that they're not getting support and money is going to Argentina instead of them. Young voters who feel manipulated by the MAGA movement. And centrists who aren't necessarily committed to a political party have all expressed serious remorse over their vote. The fact that people are admitting that they're not happy with the election and the way things have been with Trump is a serious step in the right direction. As you know, in most polls, people who speak out against the leader are seriously punished. They're ostracized and experience a lot of hostility, which typically prevents them from speaking out in the first place. So although it may feel hopeless, like fascism has been descending upon us for a few years, there actually is a sign of some progress. That's why it's so important to have conversations with these people. If you're a white person and you have family who are Trump supporters, this is a really good time to try to get through to them, especially because a lot of Republicans want the Epstein files to be released, could be used as a way to find common ground with them and convince them to not be MAGA anymore. Still have a long way to go, but the fact that his approval rating is dropping is a serious sign of good news.
This video is primarily for any people who are MAGA and might come across my video. And if you are not that, would you mind sharing this, commenting, get it out there so maybe some of them can see it. Donald Trump is admitting his guilt to you in real time, right before your eyes.
This robotic puppy is so lifelike, it actually fooled my neighbour who's a veterinarian. I've been
But you just have to listen.
This administration wants anyone who has ever committed a crime to be held accountable, and I would argue this administration has done more to lock up bad guys than certainly the previous administration. And the Trump administration is committed to truth and to transparency. That's why the Attorney General and the FBI Director pledged at the President's direction to do an exhaustive review of all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his death. And they put out a memo in conclusion of that review. But they committed to an exhaustive investigation. That's what they did, and they provided the results of that. That's transparency.
Do you guys remember that? The Attorney General put out a memo back in July detailing what they found after their exhaustive review. Here's an excerpt from that memo. The systematic review revealed no incriminating, quote, client list. There was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. In other words, according to the memo released back in July, the Attorney General said that there was no credible evidence that would warrant an investigation or indictment of anybody who has not already been charged. So remember that, and let's see what Donald Trump and Pam Bondi just tweeted yesterday. Trump put out on Truth Social that he wants an investigation into any and all Democrats linked to these files that may warrant investigating or an indictment. To which Pam Bondi says, yes, sir, right away, Mr. President, sir. We're going to assign SDNY U.S. Attorney Jay Clayton to it. One of the best. Well, now wait a minute. Were you lying in July when you said that the exhaustive review turned up no evidence that would warrant any investigation or indictments of third parties? Or will you be lying in the future when you say, yes, we've linked this person and this person and this person to these files, to this investigation. So we're going to investigate them and indict them on charges. Now you might be asking, how does this prove that Donald Trump is admitting his guilt? Because The only reason Donald Trump is asking for these new investigations on a case that the Attorney General and the FBI both said is case closed is so that these open investigations can give cover to the DOJ to say, I'm sorry, it doesn't really matter how the House and the Senate voted. We cannot release these documents because they're part of an ongoing investigation. He is admitting his guilt under the cover of justice, with every action that he takes to either delay or prevent altogether these files from getting out. Nobody who is innocent of something works this hard to prevent evidence that would supposedly clear their name from getting out.
Remember when I said that he's not acting like somebody innocent, okay? If there's evidence and you know you haven't done anything, release it. That's what I'm saying, but he's only wanting them to investigate just the Democrats, okay? But they just said according to what he's saying, last July, that they didn't see any incriminating evidence as of right now, okay? Allegedly, okay? See, he's okay as far as releasing it for the Democrat side, but when it comes to investigating him, there's always a distraction. There's always something going on, kind of like this war with Venezuela all of a sudden. Okay, now we're going to war. Why are we fighting Venezuela? For what? Okay, for oil? At this particular time, we're going to war. That's what I'm saying. It's always the timing of things. That's what gets me about all of this.
Their vote. We don't care. What you need to do with that energy is you all form an alliance, right? And then you guys go and fight for what you know is right. But don't expect any flowers or a particular take parade because you guys have now come to your senses, right? Because your marbles was all thrown over the floor for the past, let's just say years. So if you are now a MAGA supporter and you know you made the wrong decision, baby, don't cry to us. Don't expect us to take you in with love. Don't expect us to just forget the fact that you voted against us, right? Because you need to now do some self-reflection and ask yourself why you voted against yourself, okay? That's it.
I just saw a video of a Trumper on here. You've probably seen it. And he's basically like, I voted for Trump. These tariffs are killing me as a small business owner. I need some help. Some Democrats in the comments are trolling him, of course. And someone commented, like, I love this for you. And the Trumper replied via video. And he was like, oh, you love this for me, blah, blah, blah. What the fuck did you expect? We told you this. And we got called elitist. We told you the impact tariffs have on the economy, and you were like, you guys think you're so smart? This is basic knowledge. So the guy makes the video back. He's like, I knew Trump was going to tariff. I thought it would push people to build in the USA. I'm going to explain this to you like you're 5. Have you ever watched Shark Tank, okay? And the product's on there, and the sharks go, why is it so expensive? And the person goes, it's made in the USA. Why do you think they say that? Why do you... Everything's more expensive in the United States. That's why we get things internationally. And as a small business owner, I'm surprised you don't know that. You didn't think this would start a trade war, huh? Like last time? And last time was significantly less than all the tariffs he's doing this time. Like, you don't get to play victim, okay? You were warned, you ignored it, now you're paying the consequences for voting without knowing how things work.
Left the left a couple of weeks ago, and I would just like to apologize. Anyone who saw any post, comment, repost of mine that had any sort of leftist ideology and propaganda. I was so wrong. I can't even begin to explain how it feels to realize that you've been fed propaganda for years. For 32 years of my life, I have been an independent but left-leaning and Democratic voter. I'm so sorry. I fell right into the propagandist, radical, leftist craziness. Please understand that the woke mind virus is very real. It's very real. And
see, she's under delusion right now and doesn't even realize it. Oh, so you left the leftist propaganda, but now you're going over to the right propaganda? Oh, yeah, that's much better.
It is embarrassing as hell coming out of something like that. However, I'd like to say that I am so grateful to every Republican and conservative that has been so kind to me and welcoming and forgiving. I'd also like to apologize to the autism parent community. I took part in the propaganda about eugenics. I made several cringy videos about eugenics in regards to what RFK was doing and what Trump was doing. And I was so wrong. Not only was I wrong, but it is absolutely inappropriate for me to have judged any of you for wanting a cure to autism or just information about autism.
Okay, well, we understand that, but what about people losing their benefits? What about people losing Section 8? Do you have any sympathy for that? Do you care about people who may go homeless? Because that's what the Republican Party and the Donald Trump administration is doing right now. Do you have any tears or sympathy for that? I have sympathy for the autistic as well. But I also don't want to see anybody lose their home, lose their job, their livelihood, food. You can't even feed families now, hardly. Okay? And so what you're saying is okay, yes, we should have sympathy and empathy for the autistic, but we also should have empathy and sympathy for people who is going through struggling right now. Okay? People who have lost jobs and will lose loved ones because they can't get Medicare. Okay? Republicans always say they're pro life, and that's another thing. They say they're pro life when it comes to the unborn baby, but they're not pro life when it comes to taking medication from people who could die, right? They're not pro life when it comes to taking food stamps away that people can starve to death. That's part of life too. And we'll get into that a little bit later on in another show, okay? But this is what I'm saying. It's until it affects them. Obviously, it hasn't affected her yet. And I say yet because we're just getting into year number 2, guys. We got a long ways to go. The midterms is going to be critical, okay? It's going to be very critical as far as getting the House seats and the Senate and all of that, because then if the Democrats win the House and the Senate, they can stop and block, if they get the majority, they can stop and block what Trump is trying to do, right? Republicans are in full control right now, and that's the only reason he's able to do things and get things done and pass, okay? So, like I said, there's always going to be a diehard MAGA. There's always going to be somebody that's just for Trump no matter what, And I would ask this young lady about Epstein. Are you comfortable if he is found guilty, are you still going to ride the wave with Donald Trump? That's all I'm saying. Where is the humanity in that? Right? See, that's what I'm saying. They pick and choose. Okay, as long as it doesn't affect me, woe is me, right? Okay, so again, I just wanted to highlight this so that you can see how these MAGA voters are just not, after a year, it's sinking in. And guess what? It's going to sink in even more as we go more and more into the year. You're going to definitely see more and more people really start crying out and voicing how they feel. All right. But yes, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and shut it down for tonight. I just wanted to do a little quick segment and just try to highlight how people are feeling on the MAGA side. Okay, so you can see that not all Republicans are on board with this. Okay. So if you enjoyed the content for tonight, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you can, please hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss any episodes every time I come on to YouTube. I will be back on Saturday. We're going to get back into the fun and entertainment with T and get back into the relationship sector. All right. Well, I'm glad everybody's doing great. And again, I will see everybody on Saturday at 8 p.m. again with fun and entertainment with T. Getting back into that relationship news, okay? Everybody enjoy the rest of your night, and I will talk with you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.